Episode 4. It's been too long. And sorry about that dead space at the end of the intro. So we're back. And there's a lot of new stuff, so I'm excited. As you can tell, we've moved into a new news studio. I hope you like it. I didn't really like the old one, so we had the construction guys tear that all down and just start again. So now it's more blue. So it's an improvement. First off, as always, what are we drinking tonight? Wine, and I'll explain more about that. Oh God, it's so grapey. There's a new segment at the end of this news segment, and I thought wine would go along with that. Probably coffee as well, but we'll see when we get there. So, the number one kind of most important thing, I guess, is to explain the analysis room. During the last session, which is not last week because we've been off for a week, so the week before that, we were sort of discussing the pros and cons of the analysis booth segment, and it's on hiatus now. Joe, I saw your question in the chat. So none of the clips are making it on no one's clips because we are putting the analysis room on ice for now because I can't get the technology to work correctly. The way I want it to work is to be able to, well, you've seen it, sort of like draw on the NFL analysis board, like the analysis booth where you can, draw on the line, draw on different players and different routes and all that, but for gaming. That won't work fast enough for my Surface. So I'm trying to figure out a new way to do that. I think I have an idea, but it's going to take some time. I am keen on getting it back for sure. It will return. I just need to up my analysis game. Actually, maybe you could help me with that. So I'll talk to you later. So that's why there'll be no analysis room tonight. They'll just be chatting, as we're doing now, and then another section that I'll discuss in a minute. The other big thing is the stream technology is awesome now. Like a week ago, we had to cancel because we couldn't get this room to work properly. Because of an issue with how I stream my game frames and my audio to the stream box. So as you know from a telestration, okay, you will explain what that is to me, as I do not have wiki in front of me, but I'll hit you up for that information. So basically I ripped apart my computer, I put in new pieces, built a new separate computer that is now just using a Streambox. The Streambox is more powerful than most gaming rigs out there, so I'm not using a capture card, I'm passing everything through this technology called NDI, which is basically you pass frames over an Ethernet connection. It makes it crisp. You just have to have the bandwidth for it, which I do. The problem eventually came out to be XSplit, which is what I was using for a long time. I've spent the last week and a half to 2 weeks sort of familiarizing myself with OBS Studio and have transferred everything over there, which is now why you see the new studio here, which is why I haven't seen any lag. There's no frame drop. There's no issue with NDI. It's been awesome. I'm playing PUBG and, in high resolution, and there's no huge issue with lag. It's fantastic. Anyways, all the stream sort of issues have been worked out. At least I hope so. What did we do this week that was fun? If you were watching, which granted it's a little different than usual, I did a stream on Saturday. I almost never stream on Saturday. Saturday and Sunday are usually just chill time. Sunday is more often Game of Thrones night. But Saturday and Sunday, I don't stream. This Saturday I did stream, had friends that came over. You did tell me, you're right. I had friends that came over and brought a game. Now, for a long time, actually, I think that just turned off. Let me try that again. There we go. So, a friend of mine, John, is a huge board game fanatic. He loves games. He has a game night at his house, which is awesome, and a bunch of people come over and we play different games. He always has new stuff. And we played like a ton of games over at his place. Every time I tell someone about this, they tell me, oh, you got to get the game Gloomhaven. You got to get this game. It's called Gloomhaven. So every single time I hear that, I text my friend John saying, hey, have you heard about this game Gloomhaven? You need to get it. I have sent him that text probably 5 times. And every time he goes, I know, you told me, I can't find it. The game is kind of sold out everywhere. Every time the game shops get a new shipment, it sells out instantly. So like 2 or 3 weeks ago, maybe a month ago, he got a tip from his game shop that he usually goes to, that they were getting a shipment of Gloomhavens in. He said, okay, can you reserve one? They basically told him, no, you have to be here. So he got there like 10 minutes early. He's laughing about so he's laughing about it, and he gets there sitting in the parking lot waiting for them to open. This is a story he's telling us on Saturday. And there's like other people in the parking lot already waiting for this game. He said that while he's in line after he bought one, some guy came up, wanted to buy one, and got angry because he couldn't get one because he only got 3 copies, and they sold out like within 5 minutes. He got a copy of this game and brought it to my house. So we hosted a game night here. I don't have any clips of it yet. I'll get some clips and we'll show them next time. But basically I set up a weird camera setup where there was a camera over the board itself, and then one on the party, which is me and John and then 2 other of our friends. And it was awesome. We just drank beer. We ordered pizza. We played this game. I did not realize the game takes like forever to play. I was looking on Twitch to see if anyone else was doing this, streaming a board game. And there was one guy that was streaming this game, and he had like a counter. Maybe it was on YouTube that I saw this. But like a counter of the sessions that he played in Gloomhaven. And like each one was like 4 hours long. So I'm like, oh yeah, 4 hours, that's crazy. You know, it's not going to take us that long. We're pretty good at board games. One scenario, like we had scheduled the game night at my house from 7 to about 11. The guy showed up about 6:15, so I got all the cameras set up and everything, got the stream running, and then we started up like almost right at 7. And we didn't finish the first campaign until like 11:15. The first session, the first baby session, it was like 3 rooms of bad guys. The game takes forever, but it is so fun. Like ever since we stopped, and by the way, we were supposed to end at 11. They didn't leave my house till 2 in the morning. Like that's how fun it was. We did like the extra bonus room or whatever, the bonus boss after the first campaign, the first session, whatever. It was so freaking fun. It was like D&D, but it was set pieces, and there wasn't kind of the gray area for what the DM wants to do. Who's getting punished more. It was all like kind of straight in the rules. It was so cool. The one thing we really got to work out though is looting. So we play with a guy named Seth, a good friend of ours, and we always joke around that he's always going for the loot because forever ago there's a game called Gauntlet. I assume most people know what Gauntlet is. But the Blue Warrior, the Red Valkyrie is about to die, that game. And the remake of it had a jester in it. I can't remember if there's a Nintendo 64, actually. It might have been Nintendo 64. But they had a jester, and the jester was so fast in that game that it could run ahead of everyone. If you know Gauntlet, you all play on the same screen. There's no split screen. And one player can drag the screen forward more and sort of trap the guys behind. So our friend Seth would always be like running at the edge of the screen collecting all the treasure. Which is fine. It's a funny joke, and no one really cares that much. But in this game, I realized that the treasure hunting is weird because the treasure is sort of on the ground in the room when you walk in, so you can see it. You know what tile it's on, and you have loot cards where you can loot 1 tile away, or 2 tiles away, or 3 tiles away. But it takes your turn, and then you get to keep that loot. But the problem is that you sort of lose focus on killing the bad guy in order to grab loot. Granted, the loot is basically I got 1 piece of treasure because that was my, you get these cards that give you a mission to do during your session, and one of mine was collect the treasure. So they let me collect the treasure basically, and it was to go to this new map. Now that's not necessarily just for me because we're all playing together. We're not playing outside of our group, so we're all going to go to the new place on the map. I don't know if all the treasures are like that. If one of the treasures is, the supreme gauntlets of slaughter or something, and it kills guys instantly, everyone's going to want those. So I think we need to come up with a more, democratic way to loot, everyone gets a piece of gold, or we pool the gold and then split it all up at the end of the match. Which, actually, that's a good idea. Why didn't we do that? We should, okay. I'll take care of that afterwards. Anyways, Gloomhaven was a success. Our Gloomhaven nights are going to be, once a month. Once every 2 months. I'm not sure the cadence. We're planning on once a month. However, it's rotating houses that we go to. So I'm not going to have all my equipment when we go to their house. I might bring a couple of cameras, but chances are I'm not going to be streaming because I won't have my stream box there. I won't have all the high-tech equipment, all this stuff. So every time it's here, we'll have a stream up. But otherwise, I'll just have to catch you up on the game. Either way, it's fun as hell. It's expensive. I think the game was like $200 or something like that. Which I say that's expensive. But I think in the board game world, that's not that expensive. I think that's like average for like a high-end board game or something like that. Anyways, super fun. It was a stream on Saturday. If you want to go back in the video, the past videos or whatever, you'll see it. I plan on putting it on YouTube as well. Or at least some portions of it that were funny. Because it was like a 7-hour stream. Other cool things that happened. Obviously, one of the coolest things that could have happened was the Falcon Heavy. You could see that's how cool it is. Basically, we got a car into space and a fake man driving it around. Which I was thinking about this. Like that, the dual landing that was one of the times where like look at it and go, okay, we're now in the future. Basically, this is how rocket launches are now. We launch shit up into space and then we land. Then we do it again. That's just going to be the norm now. Like, that is so cool. Just look at the video. Look at how cool that is. Anyways, I was thinking about that. So, Elon launched his Roadster into orbit. And there was a camera attached so you could kind of see the Earth and the car and the spaceman. So, the funny thing about that is, I was thinking, does that help the flat earthers? Like, could they? Because if you look at it, it really looks fake. I mean, it's not fake, right? It's cool. It's awesome technology. But if you look at it, it's like, oh yeah, sure. There's just a car and a guy in space taking videos of the Earth. Okay, I don't think that's helping with the guys that think the moon landing was a hoax. Either way, it was awesome. That's an amazing accomplishment. I love Elon's reaction video where he's just like, holy shit, like it actually launched. Like you couldn't even believe it. I can't wait to get my car. It's going to be available in December. I'm super stoked. Anyways, so that was awesome. In other interesting news, which may be interesting to some people and not others, because no one that I know seems to give a shit about the Olympics. Every time the Olympics come up, there's this weird like, hey, nationalism, go America. Especially the World Cup. Like all of a sudden we love soccer. Although I live in Ohio, so Columbus area, like the Columbus Crew is a big thing. I thought there was some talk about them moving. But either way, like we get so like go America right around Olympics time for like a day. And then we don't think about it anymore. And so I haven't watched most of the Olympics because they're frankly kind of boring. And I don't, curling's cool, but I don't know how cool. But I thought it was awesome to, who's in second place? Germany again? Okay. I thought it was awesome. I just randomly happened to look at the statistics on the golds, or on the points or whatever it's called. Because I remember in the past, maybe it's the Summer Olympics where it's just like the USA has like got 600 gold medals and no one else is close. Maybe China's like second. But so I look at it like, okay, is the United States sixth? I remember reading about a figure skater, I forget his name now, Aaron something maybe? That was supposed to be like this U.S. amazing gold medalist figure skater. And he like did terribly, like fell down 3 times or something like that. I didn't watch it. I don't know the specifics of it. All I know is that I was reading some headlines, some comments about how he really didn't live up to what he was supposed to do. Which is fine, whatever. You're in the freaking Olympics for like the first time. Okay, you can cut the guy some slack. But yeah, I'm looking at the stats like, okay, there's many interesting things about this. Number one, the USA's ranked 6th. So already, is that why I've heard nothing about the Olympics? Like nothing. Granted, we did have some terrible news this past week. And at the same time, you got, our president being kind of an idiot. So there's a lot of distractions. But you don't really hear much because we're not like winning. Americans like to talk about winning and how great they are. And when we're not being that great, just forget about it. There's something else to talk about, I do find it interesting that the number one, the first country is Norway by like a mile, right? Oh no, they're winning by like 8 or so. But it's Norway, It's like the land of snow and Vikings. yeah, they're going to be pretty good at the Winter Olympics, all right? Like, it's just, this is going to happen. Canada's third? Oh, no kidding, Canada. Okay. My favorite, though, is the guys in fifth place. What is the name? Olympics athlete from Russia. It's not Russia on there because Russia's not allowed because of doping. This is the Olympic athlete from Russia that is beating us. It's such a ridiculous title. But anyways, the Olympics are happening. What's his name? Sean something. That was like one of the only videos I watched. Actually, I watched 2 Olympics videos. One was Sean, what's his name? Why can't I think of his name right now? Anyways, he did like 2 1080s on the half pipe. Snowboarding, if you didn't know. It was sweet. I watched that. That was awesome. And his reaction after was so cool. The other one I watched was like, I forget what country they were from, but it was figure skating pair. What's it? Just couples figure skating? I don't know the name of it. But, man, they did some dope moves on that thing. And they ended up getting like the highest score ever, I guess. But I remember watching the video like, holy crap, this is really good. You know, I don't really know much about figure skating, but it just seemed good to me. And then, like at the end, they both just like collapse because they know how good they did. It's so cool. I'm pretty sure they ended up winning gold, but they got like a 97 or something like that, which seems crazy because I think as I was watching it, it showed their previous attempt as like 72. So something must have gone like horribly wrong. But then there was like, no, we're going to win now. And I'm pretty sure they were Russian, official athletes from Russia or whatever. I don't know. It was awesome. If you can find the video, just go look up the gold winning figure skating video, couples figure skating for this year. It was sweet. Moving on. Other cool stuff. Obviously, this is a video game channel. We play video games here. We talk about superheroes. We talk about all this other shit. Black Panther's out. Came out Friday. Biggest box office opening this year. Second biggest opening for Marvel. Maybe ever? Is Avengers first? Either way, Avengers, the first one, opened the highest ever. This is the second. Black Panther is the second highest opening. That's crazy. Especially for a solo movie. Like, I think it beat Civil War. I mean, obviously it was number 2, but it beat Civil War. It beat Wonder Woman. After all that hype. Like, Black Panther is pretty cool, but that cool? Like, holy God. There's a lot of we talk about like a racial component to seeing it, and they got more marketing because of that. Great. Fucking awesome. You know how cool it is that we got, by the way, do you know it's the number 1 February box office opening. Pretty sure I read that. Number 1 movie ever to open in February. The second highest opening movie in February ever is Deadpool, which is even more amazing. But it's awesome that a solo hero, new character got that much play. You know what I mean? And they're not even done. Did they go through Monday? No, they can't go through Monday. There was something. It hasn't opened in China or Japan yet. That's what it is. So it's going to make like a ton more money. Which obviously is going to be Black Panther 2. It's going to expand the Marvel Universe. They're going to try new characters, which is sweet. Because, I mean, I remember seeing the trailer and hearing about Ant-Man when that was coming out. Thinking, like, who the hell? Ant-Man? Who the shit cares about Ant-Man? And then I went to see that movie. I'm like, oh, this movie is awesome. And I asked my friend John when he was here playing Gloomhaven, because he's a big movie guy, what he thought about Black Panther. And he basically said that, I said, what do you think about Black Panther in comparison to Ant-Man? Because I haven't seen Black Panther. And he said, it's just as good. I'm like, oh, okay. Ant-Man was pretty freaking good. I mean, it was funny. It was interesting superhero stuff. So I'm psyched to see Black Panther. And I'm also excited to see, like, who else they bring. They brought Doctor Strange. I saw that one. It was okay. I didn't really love it. But if Black Panther's this good, like, I might really... I don't, anyways, I guess it completely beat up Justice League, like the entire run it had. That's how much trouble DC is in. That's a whole nother talk. We're not going to get into that. Finally, so there's new segments that I've been talking about. Last week I discussed something called the PTI segment, which is sort of a interactive segment that I'm planning. I'm still getting the assets finished for it. And it would basically be like PTI, where you have a list of topics and me and a guest just sort of talk through the topics. I have some guests already planned. I plan on reaching out to a few others, but basically we'll be just talking about interesting things that are happening during the day, during the week, whether that be sports or entertainment or movies like Black Panther or cool board games like Gloomhaven or PUBG or whatever. But that'll be pretty interesting. So once I finish the assets with that, I have a target finishing date of next Monday is my target launch date for this segment. I don't know if it's going to immediately follow the new segment. I'm thinking it will. And if I keep adding these segments Monday night, it's just going to turn to me doing weirdo stuff instead of playing games, which is fun. So hopefully next Monday we'll have our launch of the PTI segment. The second segment that I'm bringing into play here is called the Storybook Corner. I don't really like that. Storytime. Storytime with Mosh. I don't know. Something. I'll figure out a cool name. I'm going to get some assets done for it, like a little intro to Storytime. I was thinking something funny like, if you remember the show Wonder Chosen. I'm going to try that. Basically, there's a book that was written, you can see here. It's called Gift of the Shaper. It was written by D.L. Jennings, who is a friend of mine from college. Books available down the list, my gear list on Amazon. You can also just search it and find it. It's a fantasy book. So the idea that I had was, and it's got a ton of pages, and I don't ever read, so it looks thick to me. But my idea was to read a chapter during a segment on the show. So that's immediately following this new segment. Immediately following that new segment will be games. So we'll be playing some games tonight, like always. Schedule for the week is the same as usual. There is some possibility that Wednesday will be nixed. We'll see what happens, because just some family stuff is happening that day. Tuesdays and Thursdays, we are finished with WoW rating. We're doing like achievements and stuff. More than likely, I'll be switching in and out of those achievement runs and just playing some games on the side. So we may move to Tuesday and Thursdays being a double session day. We did so last week. We had a morning session on Tuesday. We also had an evening session. Thursday is more than likely the same. Tomorrow could be, by the way, tomorrow, session 9 o'clock in the morning, just like usual. However, something different, my daughter is off school. If you know the stream when she's home, it usually involves her. I may set up a separate camera in the computer for her to play on, as that's pretty interesting because she starts going in. I wish I saved the video of her testing out. So when I was setting up all the equipment today for the newsroom, I had her test it and sit here. And so she brought up her stuffed animals, and she was going into a segment about otters and penguins, and about how they swim in the water and eat, and how the otters they lay on their back. When they go on their stomach, they use their tail to steady themselves. It's like a really weird thing, but it's so cute and ridiculous. Like, I just want to film her for a segment and use that as like an intro for something. So I may set up some extra cameras for her, maybe right here, and do something separate and have like a split screen stream tomorrow with her. And maybe include me playing Overwatch with her. I'm not sure. She likes Overwatch. She likes WoW because she just flies my dragons around and puts them in water. I don't know why. Anyway, so that may be on deck for tomorrow. Rest of the week is the rest of the week. Same old stuff. So stay tuned as usual. As always, let me know what sounded good here, what sounded bad. Lighting weird, audio levels too high, too low, all that stuff. Yes, if you enjoy this stuff, obviously follow. I have all the social media stuff at the top and at the bottom on one of the things, so you can follow me there as well. And if you give me a minute, we are going to move to the next segment of tonight's stream. So stay tuned. It's interesting, especially if you like books and listening to someone else read them. So hang tight. I'll be right back.